They didn't just trespass on my land. They carved a trench straight through my grandfather's grave to run their luxury golf course pipeline. Dawn light spilled across a raw dirt scar slicing the wildflower meadow. Diesel fumes tangled with torn sagebrush roots. Grandpa Thaddeus's bronze plaque lay flattened in the dirt like a crushed beer can. The HOA president, Vivian Straude, didn't even look up when I confronted her. Acrylic nails tapped her phone screen like a metronome. "We followed every legal channel, darling. You desecrated a burial site." Her laugh was short, sharp. "Show me a death certificate. Ashes aren't legally interred." That was her fatal mistake. I'd spent 15 years dissecting water contracts in Denver District Court. In Wyoming, whoever controls the water writes the rules. 3 months later, I owned the creek that fed her entire gated community. Eminent domain reversed. My name is Marlo Coltrane, but most call me Marley. 3 years ago, I inherited 240 acres of high desert range in Fremont County, land my grandfather homesteaded in 1948. Thaddeus built everything himself. The house, the barn, that 1952 windmill that still croaks in the wind. He was 1/4 Shoshone and knew this land like a heartbeat, where the soil remembers buffalo trails and the springs run beneath cottonwood roots. When I was 9, he taught me to read survey maps at his kitchen table. Burnt coffee. Tobacco. His callous finger tracing property lines. "Land doesn't lie, Marley," he said. "People do." When he died in 2019, I scattered his ashes near the southeast grove. No gravestone. Just sunrise, wind, and meadowlarks. By 2021, I was divorced, 49, and burnt out from corporate water law. I sold everything, came home, and started to rebuild. The land began healing me, slowly, quietly, until Ridgemont Estates arrived. Spring 2023. I was walking the fence line when I saw orange survey stakes cutting straight through Thaddeus's grove, every 50 feet like a line of warning flares. No letters. No notice. At the county office, I discovered Ridgemont had filed for private condemnation 6 weeks earlier, mailing notice to a P.O. box I closed 2 years before. Ridgemont Estates, 2,200 home gated community, 18-hole golf course, fake lake. McMansion starting at $850,000 in a desert that gets 12 inches of rain. Their golf course used more water than 40 ranches combined. Their queen was Vivian Straude, 61, retired pharma executive, white Lexus, vanity plate Rolls-Royce. She smiled through barbed wire. The posted schedule in their marble clubhouse read, "Pipeline installation begins Monday, May 8th. I had 3 days. I tried to reason with her. You've seen how that went. That night, I sat beneath the cottonwoods, dirt on my hands, eyes burning, and called Hector Ruiz, my old Denver colleague and one of the best water law specialists alive. We worked through the weekend, coffee, tears, documents, and anger. Hector's voice stayed calm. We'll file a TTRO, temporary restraining order, improper notice, and NAGPRA violation if Thaddeus's heritage qualifies. I tore through attic boxes, found his Pine Ridge enrollment papers, 1948 land patent, Army discharge from Anzio. By dawn Sunday, they were spread across my kitchen table. Judge Vernon Kemp, a rancher who hated developers, scheduled a Monday hearing. Hector texted, "Kemp's sympathetic. We've got a shot." We didn't. Ridgemont arrived with 3 lawyers from Jackson Hole's toughest firm. Their geologists swore no recorded graves existed. Their anthropologists dismissed Shoshone heritage as irrelevant. Then came the kill shot. "Your Honor, Ridgemont began excavation Friday evening before this order existed." They'd started digging before dawn that morning. Judge Kemp's face tightened. "Technically legal," he sighed. "Morally bankrupt." Motion denied. Outside, Vivian smiled as she passed. Her heels echoed like gavel strikes. Back home, the backhoe already waited, yellow metal chewing at the grove. The foreman, weathered and quiet, handed me Thaddeus's bronze plaque. "First scoop," he said softly. "I'm sorry." Silence where meadowlarks once sang. But on my mailbox, a survey map caught my eye. Water source, Clearstone Reservoir. Allocation, Fremont Watershed District. Ridgemont didn't own the water, they were borrowing it. And their contract was expiring. At the county archive, I found it. 1987 bylaw amendment. Any private entity using over 500 acre-feet annually must renegotiate every 10 years. Ridgemont's last renewal, 2014. 10 years overdue. In Western water law, that's fatal. Forget to renew, lose the right. One board vote could cut them dry. Vivian thought she'd buried me. She just dug her own grave. 48 hours later, every Ridgemont homeowner received an email. "Local rancher threatens your family's water supply." The harassment began immediately. Blocked calls, threats, vandalized fences. Then came a lawsuit. $250,000 for construction delays. A slap suit meant to bankrupt me. My bank account, $22,000. I spent nights scrolling through public records until my eyes burned, and found their fatal flaw glowing like a lantern in fog. The Fremont Watershed Board had 7 members. 6 were decent people. The 7th, Dalton Stroud, Vivian's brother. Every Ridgemont expansion, he voted yes. Every dissent, he silenced it. He'd never disclosed their relationship. Failure to disclose equals corruption. Corruption triggers a state investigation. I called Hector. "Her brother's been approving every request." He went silent. Then, "Jesus, Marley. That freezes all their allocations during the audit." "Exactly." I just found her weakest link. I called Iris Pendleton, a retired hydrologist with a record of fighting water abuse. She laughed when I pitched it. "You had me at stealing public water." She agreed to model their consumption. Then Tyrell Booker, investigative journalist. He read the documents twice. "You've got a bomb here," he said. A $4.2 million bond tied to uninterrupted water service. Lose the water, lose everything. Vivian hadn't just lied, she'd mortgaged her empire to a mirage. At the Cattlemen's Association meeting, I stood before 30 ranchers and told the truth. Silence. Then Gil Navarro rose. "She offered me double market value." I said no. Next month, taxes jumped 32%. 3 hands went up. Afterward, Gil pulled me aside. "I've got kids in her school, can't go public. But you've got support, and cash if you need it." For the first time in months, I didn't feel alone. Iris mentioned Antler Creek, a spring-fed tributary feeding Clearstone. The land had sold to a California LLC, but the Drummond family retained senior water rights dated 1904. Those rights were expiring in 6 weeks. A call to the LLC confirmed it. $80,000, and they're yours. I had $22,000 left. But that purchase meant control, legal, absolute, over the water feeding Ridgemont's lifeblood. Hector warned, "You'll be starving 2,200 families." "They built mansions over graves," I said. "Let them learn what drought feels like." I launched a GoFundMe. "Help a family rancher defend her grandfather's land." No names, no accusations, just truth. 12 days, $41,000. Ranchers, strangers, even urban environmentalists sent donations. Still short. I sold 25 head of cattle, 60 years of bloodline gone. Gil showed up with a $6,000 check. "No interest. Pay me back when she's dust." $85,000 total. Enough to buy justice. Hector mapped the plan. 1. File for Antler Creek's 1904 rights before August 15th. 2. File ethics complaint on Dalton. 3. Freeze Ridgemont's allocation during the audit. Iris finalized her model. If I exercised senior rights, Clearstone's level would drop 35%, cutting Ridgemont off entirely. "Can you live with that?" she asked. "Can they live with desecrating a grave?" I answered. August 12th, Vivian found out. She arrived at my ranch, white Lexus gleaming. $150,000 cash, she said. "And you walk away. You think you can buy me? I think you know how this ends if you don't." 2 days later, an anonymous complaint accused me of overgrazing. Inspectors came, found nothing. Then an op-ed appeared. "Eco-terrorist rancher endangers families." Death threats. Late-night drive-bys. Thence wire cut again. She wasn't just fighting anymore. She was hunting. August 16th, 2:17 a.m. Scouts barking woke me. The hay barn was a wall of fire. I freed the horses, watched $60,000 of winter feed turn to ash. Investigators found accelerant, gasoline poured by hand. Trail camera caught a dark SUV with no plates. The sheriff promised to keep an eye out. I didn't bother to hope. August 20th. Claudia Wynn from the state engineer's office arrived, calm, meticulous. Vivian and her brother showed up too, trailed by lawyers. Claudia shut them down cold. "Motivation is irrelevant. Senior rights are absolute." Then to Dalton. "Your allocation renewal is 5 years overdue. Focus on that." Vivian's face froze, white fury beneath designer sunglasses. When they left, Iris whispered, "She'll do something worse." I nodded. "Then we'll be ready." 3 days left. Hector stayed armed and sleepless on my porch. Private security patrolled the fence line. August 23rd, I drove 6 hours to Cheyenne to hand-deliver the final paperwork. Stamped, received, 2:34 p.m. Driving home through the high desert, sky blood-red at sunset, I felt it. The moment the land exhaled. The water was mine now. So was the fight. The war wasn't over. But for the first time, it was finally fair.